Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a while. There's a lot going on in the world right now. It's a very confusing, uncertain time. I haven't done my makeup in a really long time, so I thought that I would just do a full face, full glam makeup. This is going to be kind of like my go-to smoky eye on a night where I really just want to go all out, for me anyway. And that's what I'm going to do for you today. Okay, so to prime my lids, I am going to be doing my eye makeup first because I'm using quite dark shadows in today's look. So just in case I get any fallout, it won't mess up any foundation. So I'm just going to take my L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer and just prime my lids with this. Okay, so the first shade I'm going to be putting down is this bronzer shade from the Essence Get Picture Ready contouring palette. Any bronzer will do. It's just a really good tone to get a warm crease shade. And I'm blending that using my MAC 217. Okay, so I just zoomed you guys in. And all I've been doing with this shade is using very little product at a time, and I'm using big circular motions so I can get a really diffused, buffed out color and there are no harsh lines. Okay, so the palette I'm going in with today is my Tarteist Pro palette, but I'm not using any kind of complicated colors, so you will be able to get these shades here. Okay, then the next shade I'm going in with is the shade Edgy, and it's this kind of warm chocolatey brown shade, and I'm going on my lid with that. I'm packing it as close to my lash line as I can, and then I'm working my way up. Okay, and then once I have the base of that smoke on, I'm going to go back into that middle bronzing shade, and I'm going to buff out the edges again. Smoky eyes can be really intimidating because you're using very dark colors, but if you just go in baby steps, you can do it. Okay, and then I'm just going to take the darker shade in this contouring palette because it's kind of in between the lighter bronzing shade and the color that I have on my lids, and that's just to kind of blend the two together. Okay, so for now that is eyes done. I know it looks a little bit crazy right now, but it won't once we finish the rest of it. So right now I'm going in with my brows, and this is the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil in the shade Blackest Brown. I've spoken about this one so many times on my channel, and I'm just gonna speed through this process because you guys have seen me do this many times. Okay, so that's brows done, and the rule that I kind of like to follow is the heavier the eye, the heavier the brows. This is a little heavier than I would normally go for, but with the rest of the face it looks better. Okay, and then for foundation, my go-to when it comes to night out fuller coverage foundation is this one. This is the SuperStay 24-hour Maybelline foundation. This one's great because it's a very, very good coverage, but it doesn't look cakey and it lasts a really long time. Okay, so I take about one pump of that and I dot it with my finger along my face, and then I buff it in with this Precision Blush Brush from Eco Tools. Okay, so that's one pump of foundation on my skin. I don't normally like to go in with a super full coverage. You can see a few of my freckles peeking through and any kind of blemishes. It's not really going to cover that too well, but I prefer that more natural skin look, and then I'll go in with a concealer after the fact and cover things that need covering. So the concealer that I'm going in with is the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer, but for this part I'm using the shade 334 Walnut. Because this is so full coverage, I also kind of use this sparingly, so I'll apply about that much under my eyes, between my brows, bridge of my nose, around my nose so I get some redness, my Cupid's bow, and my chin. And sometimes I'll do a little here because it gets a little discolored there, but it's mostly just highlighting the center of my face. To blend that out, I normally like using a beauty blender. Just because the concealer is so full coverage, I like that the sponge kind of absorbs any excess, but it leaves the pigment there. Okay, and then before I set my face with powder, I'm going on with all my liquid products first. And the reason I do that is because when you layer a powder on top of a liquid, it lasts longer. Not that I want it to last longer because we're in a lockdown, but hypothetically, that's what I would do. So for bronzer, I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty Match Stix in the shade Mocha. Gorgeous product. Okay, so I'm just lightly buffing that into the hollows of my cheeks. And then places I would naturally tan, To sharpen the shape of my jaw, I'm just going to go in with a little bit more right under my jawline. And then very, very lightly on the sides of my nose. And the reason I do this isn't because I want to contour my nose shape at all, but when the sun would naturally tan your face, it would naturally tan your nose, so. Okay, and then for blush, this has been one of my favorite products for months now. I got this in London last year, and it's the Stila Convertible Color Dual Lip and Cheek Cream in the shade Peony. The stuff is so beautiful. On a natural skin day and like on a daily basis, I'll go in with this just by itself, no layering, and it just gives the most beautiful dewy look to your cheeks. So I just go in with my finger for this, and don't worry, my hands are clean, and I just hit the apples of my cheeks just above where we applied that bronzer. Okay, now that all the liquid products are done, I'm going in with my powder, and this is the Sorbet Powder To You Loose Setting Powder in Translucent. I like working this in with a beauty blender because I just take quite a light amount and I just pat it into my skin until the powder's worked in. It blends it in with my foundation so seamlessly because the sponge is slightly damp. Okay, now for the rest of the powder products. This is the Benefit Hoola bronzer, and I'm just going to dust that on my face using the Eco Tools Define brush. And I'm really just dusting that on the areas of my face that I originally put that cream bronzer, just to set those shades in place. For highlight today, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Precious Petals highlight. This is really affordable and a really good product. And I'm just going to apply that with my Inglot 6SS brush. And then lastly, going in with my blush, and I like applying this after my highlight because it kind of tones it down a little and it kind of bridges that gap between the highlights and the bronzer. And the blush I'm going in with today is the Essence Matte Touch blush in the shade 20 Bury Me Up. I like this one for nights out especially because it's a matte pink shade and it's not peachy, which I feel like is a little bit more suited to the evening. And I'm applying that with the Real Techniques blush brush. And I really focus this on the apple of my cheek, and then I work back towards my hairline. Okay, so in my waterline, I'm gonna apply a brown eyeliner. This one's from Kiko, but you can go in with any. Okay, for the sake of keeping this local, I'm gonna use my L'Oreal Infallible Gel Crayon. And again, it's in a dark brown shade. And I'm just applying that all along my waterline. Okay, so that's really just the base color. I know it looks a little bit lopsided because I have light coming in from there, but it's pretty even. And then I'm just gonna go in with the dark shade in that contour palette, and because I have a little bit left over of the darkest brown shade that I used on my lid, it'll just work perfectly to kind of make the top look like the bottom. So I'm not being too precise about this. I'm just buffing it into my lower lash line because I really like that smoked out kind of look. And then when I get to the outer portion of my eye, I'm kind of dragging it up to join the top part of where I smoked out my lid. Okay, then a little mascara. I'm using my Sorbet Wanderlust Volume Mascara. This won't do much just because I'm applying lashes, but it helps to blend my lashes in with the falsies. Yes, I did just get mascara on my nose. That's so annoying. Okay, so while that mascara is still drying, I'm gonna do my lips, and the lip liner that I've been loving lately, this is one of my favorite finds. This is the LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner. This is called Sugar and Spice, and it is almost an identical match to the shade of my lips, which I love. I just love that shade so much. It's kind of like my lips, but like 1 or 2 shades darker. It's amazing. And then just to pop in the center, I'm going to use my Tom Ford lip color in the shade O River. Okay, so that's it for my face. I'm just gonna go off camera and apply my lashes, and then I'll be right back with you. Alright guys, that's it for this makeup look. I really do think lashes just make the biggest difference. These ones are the Ardell Demi Wispies, just in case you're wondering. Well, I haven't played with makeup in a while, so this is a really fun afternoon for me. It feels weird. Yeah, I think we should address the elephants in the room. I don't know, these past few weeks have been... Let me just take my earphone out. These past few weeks have been very strange and surreal. I think everyone has felt like that. It was almost exciting where, the idea of staying at home with friends and family or just being mostly quarantined just kind of sounded appealing. And then this is the first time, I think, in our generation, in our era at least, that we're going through something like this. And yeah, it's weird. I've gone through many different phases of being kind of complacent and feeling pretty chilled about it, and then I've had my panic moments, and because Shan's in Europe, which is kind of the epicenter of a lot of it right now. Shan's my sister, just in case you didn't know that. There's a lot that's kind of out of our control. I know that we're in a very privileged position compared to a lot of people, but it's just very scary for all of us. And I've just been doing things to kind of make me feel good every single day. So I've been cooking a lot and baking a lot. Gran's living with us now. She's sitting right there. Do you like having me as a roommate?
I do.
It's just been, for the most part, quite distracting, and it's been making me feel better. So I think just trying to get kind of a normal routine going has been helpful. But I hope you guys are staying safe and just trying to appreciate the things you may have taken for granted before. And I just can't wait to hug my loved ones when this is all over. I hope you guys stay safe. I hope you guys are having a really good day so far, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.